48. Goodness.
28?
48.
28.
It is 28.
Okay.
Episode 28 of Theories and Thoughts podcast with your host, Arnya and
Fancy.
How y'all doing today? Welcome. So, as always, we're going to get into some stories, I guess you can call it. I haven't figured out what to call this segment, how to go into this segment. So we just gonna go into this segment. How was your Mother's Day, Fancy?
Look, actually, I thought about this after the fact. I was like, I didn't even really do anything. I basically was like still working, and I just kind of like worked at my own pace. And but my daughter Dylan sent me like this really sweet text message, and in the message, I just thought that that was probably the best Mother's Day gift. Because in the message, she just kind of was like, you know, she really loved the mom that I've grown to be in the past 2 to 3 years. And then, you know, she was like, not to say you were bad before, but just with all the obstacles that we've had thrown at us, you know, and these were her words. So that like really touched me, because most people know that Dylan is like my daughter that's always with me. So for her to see that growth, that really meant a lot. And then my boyfriend kind of took me shopping on Thursday, or tried to, because it's like most of it still closed, and nothing is really in the stores. But overall, so I mean, it was good. And and my daughter's message, and just I felt better, because normally I'd be kind of sad on Mother's Day, but this year I was like, okay, it's just the day. How y'all doing? You know.
Hey, Sharana, she said, "Oh, I'm early." Yeah. Well, for Mother's Day, I am not a mother yet, or what have you. It started off a little emotional. I actually did a YouTube on it. It started off a little emotional, like, I'm not a mother. I don't want anybody to tell me Happy Mother's Day, because people always tend to tell me Happy Mother's Day. And they're like, well, you take care of Chloe, you take care of the kids. You're such an influence in other people's lives. And even when I went to Home Depot, they were like, you're like a mother to us. You're a mother around here, you know? And I'm like, even the kids that I don't work with hands on, they were like, what's up, mom? Like, you know, so it made me, I felt a little bit better. I did get to talk to all my mothers, my stepmom, my mom, and my Texas mom. So it was really good. I had a good Mother's Day. I worked most of the day. So I didn't expect to get anything, and I didn't get anything because I'm not a mother.
Well, I mean, but you still, you know, actually learned what a lot of people think of you, how they view you, as well as, so it's kind of like you're a surrogate mother. It sounds like it for some people.
Yeah. So we want to say rest in peace to Little Richard, Betty White, Andre Harrell. The news broke of Andre Harrell on Saturday night. I want to say Betty was on Sunday and Little Richard was on Sunday. We were sitting here like, what does Little Richard say? We know good guy Miss Molly.
And actually, I think Little Richard was on Saturday too. I think Miss Wright was just the only one on Sunday that passed. But I mean, like either way, it was a rough weekend. You know,
it was a very, 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 very rough weekend. I myself was touched, and I didn't want to touch the whole Betty Wright thing, because my auntie, we used to listen to Betty all the time, honey. I could recite her. I remember meeting Betty. It's super auntie status, yes, ma'am. I remember meeting Betty Wright. She did a play here in Texas, and at the time, I had met a guy, and he was married, and I was like, oh no, honey. I had to tell him, you're that lady's husband. And I was telling her about the song, and me being who I am, you have to know I'm like really, oh my God, that song husband. And you know, she had wrote it years ago, and here I am, an adult telling her about her song. So that was really I was like, yes, honey. I had to tell him, you are that lady's husband, honey, and my desire for you is strong, but I ain't gonna do wrong. So
okay,
that's one of my favorite songs by Betty, and of course, No Pain, No Gain. And who can forget their first time? So I love that song as well. Andre Harrell is such a legend. One, and two people that I just really admire. One of them is Mary J. I've been singing Mary since I was in elementary. I've been singing Mary since in elementary. Of course, I have followed P. Diddy's career, so yeah, those were some
Well,
major.
I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead.
No, you can finish.
But I was finishing up. Go ahead.
Oh, I mean, because I was trying to start my watch party too as you were talking, so I do apologize, but that's why I was looking down. But as far as Mr. Harold, I wasn't as familiar with him. Once I started like researching him some more, I did realize that, it's like I had saw his name in articles and his photo, I think more so in other stuff. So, but we did do an article about him on the site. Vince did a great write-up. And so basically just like for those who may kind of be like me with that, I was able to like really learn more about him. But as far as Miss Betty, right, like that really, it's kind of crazy because I had recently started just kind of thinking about like who are some older women that I could interview, kind of like aunties, and then I saw that she had been kind of active, I think on Instagram or something. So I was like, okay, I might could reach out to her because she is into social media and so on, and might be open to interviews. But in the end, then, so I regret not making certain that I got that done. And as far as my favorite songs, I also think like After the Pain, that was another one of my favorites. But Tonight Is the Night, that was like, that song was so influential on me as a child. I think I've even shared it. But it's even other little aspects of the song that's not even, like, that's not even sexually related, that I just like, I guess I could just bust out with, a few lyrics or something at any given time. But yeah, so that was really, I think we really lost someone that was very, to me, if you were to go beyond Erykah Badu and Jill Scott, as far as like for those women that just kind of like were there teaching you about those womanly things that oftentimes our parents or our mothers don't give us those discussions about, like she was one of those, like she kept it real. So
I mean, she told us. Don't blame Mr. Charlie. Mr. Charlie is just a man. I mean, be a lady in the street. You can't show your teeth to every guy. How many years did we wonder what did she mean by that? But I just thought, it was like, be a freak for your man, but be a lady. Be, in the public. She told you forgive him when he mess up. Like you said, that auntie.
right.
She was giving me that auntie, like, what we, don't do this, she made an impact. I mean, as I said, as a little girl, I can sit here and sing After the Pain, No Pain, all that, just so much. So they all three will be missed. All right, next topic is Tennessee dad celebrates daughter's graduation from Xavier University. I love this one because my sister is she's not graduating, but she's about to enter her first year of pharmacy school at Xavier. She already goes to Xavier now, and my other sister is about to be there. Her freshman year is going to be in the fall. So I was like, hey, and as we get prepared for my little sister's celebration, but not celebration, I guess, from high school. I thought this was just so dope. They made a stage, honey. They have a stage. A stage out there, had a program and everything. I love it. I think I'm that extra. I feel like I'm that extra, but that daddy was like, no, baby, this is what we're going to do. And I love it. So she received a bachelor's of public health science with a minor in biology. She will be she will be joining the armed forces, and her dream job is to work for the CDC. So I thought that was dope.
Yeah, that really was. And they said that because I did, like, of course, I always still do a little bit of digging. So for one, because it was like in one of the articles, they didn't mention the people's names. So the daughter in the story is Gabrielle Pierce, and the dad is Torrance Burson. So let's also shout out the dad, of course. I mean, because let's let his name be known. And they said that he was already kind of known for over the top gifts. So he said that he woke up like in the middle of the night, after they learned that they'd be doing the virtual commencement ceremony. And he was just like, she gonna walk across somebody's stage. And so he just got started the next day or whatever. But I think that was like really sweet. I saw so many people say how they don't value that moment. I don't think I really did either. But then you look back and it's like, you know what? That was supposed to be something really big. That was a celebration for me, not even for other people, which oftentimes a lot of people say that's, initially that's what they were thinking when they missed it. So that was really sweet. Like, kudos to him.
I cried.
Okay.
I cried high school. I cried with my associates. I didn't cry for my bachelor's. I was just like, all right, let's do this. Let's go.
I was always kind of like, you know what, just give me my stuff and let me get away from here. That's kind of, and I will say, I used to have a bad attitude. I used to not practice gratitude as much or really look at my accomplishments. So to me, it was just like free at last, we ain't got to talk. I don't have to show up. I did show up though, and my kids would always be there. So, it was kind of like a touching moment, but it was just always still kind of I don't know. I don't like things ending in a sense, but I was ready to get away from school. So
I felt accomplished, especially after my associates. I was like, I have to get some. Matter of fact, that's what my counselor said. She was like, do you want to get all the credits that you have? You don't have enough for a bachelor's, but if you take one more extra class, PE, you can get this associate's and you can feel accomplished and want to go further for the bachelor's. And I was like, you know what? Let's do it. Let's go for it. And that's what I did. So shout out to, what's his name again? Mr. what?
Burson.
Mr. Burson, shout out to you. Shout out to the fathers out there that love their baby girls like that. My daddy ain't gonna build nothing, but he extra. My father is extra. But he ain't gonna build nothing. He might have a second line out there, but he ain't gonna build nothing. So I really appreciate that. And it really showed how Black men, we always hear so many Black men have, don't take care of their kids when they're really out here doing it. These Black men. So shout out to Black men too. Y'all need some love because society is just keep.
Yeah.
Right. Society just keep trying to beat y'all down. But we love you. And right, friends?
Yes. I do. I mean, that didn't sound genuine, but yes, I do love Black men. I don't know what else to tell you, but yeah.
No, I know that you do. I was just messing with you. All right. Next story. Nicholas Johnson, a Canadian student majoring in operations research and financial engineering, is named the first Black valedictorian of Princeton University, first in its 274th year history.
What you got? Okay. Because I was like, initially when I saw this story, I was like, okay, I'm always looking at like, what's the angle here? Is the angle because this is going to actually be a year where they hold a physical graduation? And actually they're going to, the school said that they would come back like next May and actually do a ceremony. But as I continue to read, like what I was most impressed by was all of his accomplishments. So I actually it's a lot of them. I just wanted to take a minute because he deserved this. So he interned internationally at with cultural immersion trips to Peru, Hong Kong, and the United Kingdom. He also interned at Oxford University's Integrative Computational Biology and Machine Learning Group, as well as he was working as a software engineer in machine learning at Google's California headquarters. And it's more stuff in between there. But then what I skipped to, and his thesis, his senior thesis was entitled Sequential Stochastic Network Structure Optimization with Applications to Addressing Canada's Obesity Epidemic. So it was focused on developing high performance efficient algorithms to solve, look, I'm not even about to go into what all it was about to solve, but the thing that also stood out to me, because of course he's addressing obesity from an engineering standpoint, because a lot of this I don't even totally understand, but part of his work is said to have applications to public health interventions designed to increase the adherence to strict social distancing to curb the spread of COVID-19. Like, I mean, and this is a Black young man from Canada. So I think we should be very proud of him. The Ivy League school, you know, is good, but like just his work alone, he could stand on that alone without even, you know, but of course he probably wouldn't have had those opportunities had he not been at that school. But I was just really excited when I was reading about him. So I want y'all to know what all he's done.
I was excited about it. I think I said this another time. We still in these first, the first Black this, the first Black that.
Right.
We have a difference in opinion. I just feel like I love the fact that we're winning, but it just seems like over and over it's the first Black this, the first Black that. When I be happy when we over the first Black, whatever. And we still celebrating, you know, the Black person. However, not so much as the first Black this, that, and the other. It's a damn shame.
Yeah.
But, you know, usually I would say, why we have to go to those type of schools to be celebrated? But hey, moving on.
Okay.
Go ahead.
No, because I was about to do my little disclaimer. I'm actually in my watch party. I'm trying to still engage with my people. So somebody said, "How old is he?" Dang, about But I was like, you know what? I don't know. I said, I don't know, but I was meaning to say he probably graduated on time. So he probably like 21, 22 or something.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Linda, about my earrings. I'll tell you where I got them from later. I be like that too. Because
he probably started doing some of that stuff in high school.
He probably did. And that's the beauty of it. I hate to say it, American education versus Canadian education. It might just be a little bit better.
Yeah. As well as, and just really being in the South and still living in the South and having teenagers, you know, and college kids in the South, I realize we don't have all those same opportunities, you know, like those connections with the colleges and so on, as much as we see them, you know, in more northern or western states and so on like that. But to get into our first sponsor for the evening, so that I can make certain that I do not forget. So one of this week's sponsors is the 8-Figured brand. And to tell you all a little bit about it, 8-Figured is a fitness apparel brand. The 8-Figure mindset is all about accepting who you are and being an engineer of the body you were given. Self-love, acceptance, and self-respect. So you all can learn more about them at their website, www.8 figured FIGURED.com. And then their Instagram is 8 figured brand. That's FIGURED BRAND. I got those out.
Yeah, I look down at I'll be looking down because I'm trying to do my watch party. We're not we haven't gotten it down that we can have somebody else run our social media to share on our pages. Also, usually I'm the one who send the link to the guests. So I was like, hey, I sent y'all the link. So I'm always looking down to make sure they didn't text me to say that they can't make it or whatever. So just want to let y'all to know what it is that we be doing when we're looking down and everything. So did our guests arrive yet?
I have Tara in right now, and I'm correcting her name to make certain if it's going to show. I can go ahead on and bring her in.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
I was going to say we should wait.
Oh, well, because I had hit, but also I'm still kind of wondering too how it's going to work out, how it's going to look, you know, once we're able to bring in Suzanne.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Okay, yeah. Tonight we have a really, really, really good show. We have two women who are all about wives and educating women on being wives and being in their marriages successfully. They have years. They're going to tell y'all about themselves, but they have years underneath their belts. And I have had the pleasure to sit under both of their feet, and just talk to them and learn different things. So I'm like really excited about tonight. What's wrong, Fancy?
Look, don't mind me. I'm still working stuff as you're talking. Sorry. But I was trying to correct Tara's name, and then I realized it went back to something else. I wanted to show it.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
So how are you ladies?
We good. We are good.
Thank you guys for the opportunity to give us a chance to talk about marriage.
Oh, you're welcome. Go ahead and introduce yourself while we wait for Suzanne.
Okay, well, I'm Tara Davis, and I'm one of the founders of the Haven Marriage Center. We're a nonprofit organization that believes that better marriages creates better families, which creates better communities. And so that has been Earl and I mission since we divorced and remarried. We've just decided, you know what, let's share what God did for us when He, gave us an opportunity to remarry, and how He did make it perfect, but He definitely restored our relationship when we had failed. And so we offer coaching for couples, and then we also offer coaching for wives. And then since the COVID-19, I'm sure everybody has seen the spike in the domestic violence. It is very real. So we have started this domestic violence de-escalation program.
Okay, how long have you guys been married all together, all the years?
Okay, so I need Earl for that. So we got married in 1999, right after college. We were college sweethearts, and we were shacking, and the world was perfect. Like we shacked for 5 years, our whole 5-year college. We shacked, it was perfect. And then in 1999, right after we graduated, the University of Alabama, we got married and we moved to Florida, and it just went downhill. And so we divorced in 2001. Then we remarried in 2003.
I don't think I was getting. I kept wondering when you were saying remarried. I was like, maybe she's meaning Miss Suzanne. So you married your husband twice?
Yes, I married my husband twice. I'm like,
they couldn't stay away, girl. They couldn't stay away.
Well, I need one more time to get it right because we still struggling.
So, look, Anya, because now I'm registered. Anya, did you have a first question? Well, and should we move on?
Go ahead. I text her to see where she is. It could be a hanger. It could be anything.
Okay. Because I do have questions. Because, I noticed how you said you all were, it was bliss while you were just still dating or shacking. So what changed when you all got married? Like, how did it change?
I think for me, I can only speak for me. I had no idea the concept of what it meant to be somebody's wife. I wanted to continue on, like we were roommates. We were paying our bills 50-50. He went as he wanted to go. I went as I wanted to go. And it was just like, hey, you good? I'm good. And so when we got married, for me, it was a shift in him of the expectations that he desired for me. That became a whole problem for me because it was like, oh, you need to be in the house by this time. I'm like, no, I'm grown. I have a daddy. He's already raised me. So I'm going to, I can't deal with that. And it became, just the little things of you now have made a lifelong commitment to this person, to be with them. And even though we had lived together all of those years, it just became a shift in my mindset where he became my enemy, where it was like, no, whatever you say, whatever you think, I'm going to be opposite of, I remember, we got in the first house and it was just like little things like, oh no, I think this bedroom should be used for office. I think this should, and those are the little foxes that come into marriages, and now you're not, like the topic we're talking about today, you're not basically checking for him anymore. It's all about you. It's all about, okay, my desires and the things, that I want, and it became a competition of who can win. It's not about us winning as a team anymore. It's about, oh, how can I win, in this situation? And I can't explain it. I tell couples, I really believe it's the fact that when you're in sin, the enemy is already winning. When so the enemy had no issues of attacking us. But once we made that covenant and that commitment to God, then the enemy got busy. And he used me greatly.
At least you can, you know what? I love it. I love that you can own that. You can own that, because I think so many times when we get in relationships and with anybody, and we be like, wait, hold up, I'm grown. You can't, hold up. No, you can't tell me nothing. And I can see how the dynamic would change then, because he had different expectations from just his girlfriend. And
Right.
I always tell people, when people ask me what I'm looking for, I'm like a teammate. I need a teammate. I need someone. I'm not trying to fight you. We're supposed to be on the same side, and let's make this work the same side. I don't want to come in and battle you after I done battled the world,
Right.
So our topic tonight is don't leave your man behind, or don't leave your spouse behind. If there's men that's out there that want to, then they may need to know that just because you gaining. I was watching Diary of a Mad Black Woman last night.
Mm-hmm.
And thinking about this, it made me think about that. The fact that he was gaining momentum and she was just a housewife because he didn't want her to do anything else. That was her job. And when he became bigger and better, he felt like he can just sweep her over to the side. So we have to remember, when we're elevating, take our spouse with us. They may not necessarily, and this is the single girl talking. They may, at least Fancy got a boyfriend, but they may not be into what you're doing and doing business wise, but still take them with you. They may want to be, just play the supportive role. That's what I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Did she come on here? Cause she said yes, Fancy.
I don't see her. Like, and I know we did the test of the day, but I'm not seeing her across the bottom the way. Let me try. I'm gonna try to reformat the screen.
Okay. No. Okay. Okay.
But I think we, going back to that movie, we have every intention of, being a team and being connected. Of course you don't marry someone that you're thinking, no, I want to, this is it. We're going to do life together. We're going to, be one. I'm always going to cater to him. I'm going to, that was my mindset. Like, oh, I'm going to be the perfect wife, because I was intentional. Like, I knew I wanted to be a wife. I didn't understand the roles and the responsibilities of being a wife. And, when the man grows and, just like the movie, he became a lawyer, he got his success. Well, what do you do when your partner is rejecting that thing that you have always been, when he wants something different? You know what I'm saying? Do you pull away, or do you continue to fight and try and find some way to reconnect with your partner? And I think, it's on both of them, even like when the one who's found success and they want something different, instead of saying, you know what, let me teach my wife this new thought process. With me and Earl is out, he's a artistic type of guy. So he's always flowing. He's always got these great ideas, which is, I loved him, right? That's why I married him twice, because he can give me a story and he can make it feel so good. I'm like, yes, I love this. Well, now that I'm older, that's not as cute. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to go on that ride. I want some stability. I want to know, exactly this is how it's gonna be. I don't like change. And what I can appreciate about him is that he will get in the trenches with me and have patience with me until I'm able to make that change, until I'm able to say, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I see your point of view. It's scary for me. I might not like it, but at least I can, you know what I'm saying, feel comfortable because he made me comfortable. You know what I'm saying? He didn't just get angry with me and say, you know what, this is what I'm doing. You do you.
Right. So one of the steps of not leaving your mate behind, your man behind, your husband, your wife behind is that patience. Understand that they're not moving at the same pace that you are, and you are still two different individuals, and you learn differently and you operate differently.
Right.
That's what I heard. You operate differently, and they say opposites attract. So although you have all these other things that are the same, the way you work in different things sound like those are the things that are different. So
Right.
in that, in learning, because I know I've talked to Suzanne, Suzanne stresses you grow every day. I still don't know this Negro. That's what she tells me. I still don't know him. And they've been married 25 something
30 years. 30 years.
30 years. They've been married 30 years. And she was like, I still don't know him. He grew up. And we had a relationship. Is she a therapist? I think I want to say she was a therapist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Miss Glendora.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's a relationship. Well, she's a therapist, not necessarily
She's a therapist.
But communication is more her focus, I think.
And she was saying, communicate. Tell them, hey, I don't like how you say this or how you do this or this, that, and the other. Hi, Suzanne.
Hello, how are you all?
1 second, then we'll have you introduced. And she was saying, you may feel like I don't like you calling me baby no more. I done got older. I don't like being called baby no more. I want to be called something else. And it's all about that communication. So before I do my next question, Suzanne, go ahead and introduce yourself, please.
Okay, y'all please forgive me. I was having some issues, but nevertheless, I'm here. Well, I'm Suzanne. I've been married for 31 years to a good guy. I'll say he's a good guy. We've been in business together for over 10. It's been challenging, but it's been successful at the same time. We have 3 kids, 3 grandkids, 3 adult children, which is a whole nother ministry in itself. And, but other than that, I'm just a lady trying to make life happen the best way I can without destroying nothing at the same time. So that's me.
Okay. Well,
because I fed up.
So we're talking about don't leave your man behind, don't leave your spouse behind. So Tara was telling us, you may learn at different rates. You may deal with things differently, and creatively, and just to communicate, it's good to have a spouse that has patience, right? That has the patience to say, you know what, babe, let me help you with this. Let me move you along the way that the pace that you are at, and that doesn't get upset. So what would be another thing? I'm sorry, Fancy. Did you have something?
Yeah, well, I do want to know because it seems like you're about to ask what would be another thing. But from my watch party over here, actually, Mr. Jimmy Daniels is very engaged in this conversation. So he pointed out from Miss Tara's story that communication and compromise were two, important factors, throughout this situation, or what it takes is part of that. So I thought that those were also good things, but do you all agree? Because that is kind of like what I was thinking as well.
Yeah.
For sure.
Definitely. I think compromising is a daily thing, where you, as the individual, you have to be intentional about choosing your battles, where you're saying, is this something really? Because I know my relationship. My relationship is basically an adult now. So I know how we can operate. I know we can go 2 to 3 days without talking. He mad. So I have to choose if this is a situation that I believe in enough in order to have that distance in my relationship. And then, I have to process who I am as a person, look at myself and say, okay, no, that's something I can compromise on. And sometimes there's situations that I just, I'm not to a place where I can relent, I can compromise. And that's when he has to show me grace or he has to compromise in order for this thing to work. But it has to be a give and take.
Yeah.
Okay. Give and take. I know, Suzanne, man, you have talked about that too, picking your battles. Having to sit on your hands. When you want to react, you want to react, but you can't react right then and there. So what is something else, ladies, when we get successful, we're working in our business, we had this man, we had this family here, but we're working in this business and we trying to go, and he's like, when you gonna cook me dinner tonight? I mean, what are we doing?
You cooking dinner before the business?
Huh?
Were you cooking dinner before the business?
Hey, I don't know. If it's me, no, because I don't like cooking. But I'm just saying.
That's what I'm saying. So for me, I don't cook. I got the kids cooking, Earl cook, and Suzanne just shared with me yesterday. She did make, what did you make? Neck bone.
A whole Sunday meal on a Monday. So see, all of them things that I started before this quarantine, I had to keep it up in the quarantine times 10. So what you're trying to say, Tara, is do what you know you can do, and don't be trying to be something that you're not, because when push comes to shove, you set expectations. And once you set those expectations, that's where we find ourselves in a battle, because we've let a person believe this is who we are, this is what our capacity is, and now all of a sudden we switching the game up on them, and now they trying to figure out, oh no, you was that chick, or you was that dude, because you was doing all of this in the beginning. Just because we're in the quarantine don't mean nothing. I still want to be right, so I cooked them beans and rice and egg bones and cornbread. I might have talked about the onion while I was putting it in the pot. I might have had an issue, but I did it, So like my sister saying, keep up what you start, and if you can't, just be true enough to yourself to say this is not what I do, and be okay with your no, this isn't who I am, and hopefully he can extend you the grace, because if you don't cook, why is he expecting you to cook now? That's a whole nother topic and a whole nother conversation. That's something else going on. Now he's expecting something that you never put on the table like that.
Right.
But as you start getting more successful, you start getting busy, right? Just a little bit busier. So what we doing then? Like how are we handling that? How are we handling? I decided that I want to start a business. I talked to you about this business. I talked to you and told you that I want to start this business, and now you're telling me I'm getting too busy. That ain't got no time for you. So I don't want to leave you behind here. I mean, I'm asking you if you want to come with me, but you acting like you don't want to come.
You got this, Tara? You got this one, Tara?
Well, I think the reality is that we have to decide which position is most important. Is it the position of being an entrepreneur, which ebbs and flows with life? Sometimes you got money, sometimes you don't, right? Or is it the position that you went before your family and your friends, and you went before God and you made a covenant with Him based on your relationship? You didn't make a covenant to be an entrepreneur, but you did go and make a covenant before the church, before God, to be somebody's wife. So I believe that that's your most important role. So if the person that you decided that this is, you want to be his wife, and he's telling you, hey, things are off balance, I think that's something that you have to consider. You know what I'm saying? And say, okay, baby, you got to help me figure out how I can be everything that I want to be, and also be what you need me to be. What ideas that you have that we can work this thing out, and not necessarily say, well, you knew this is what I wanted to do. You see, I'm doing all of this work. Well, that's not going to work. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you married to a real man like we got. That's not gonna work.
Powerful.
Girl.
Yeah. 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 The only thing I would add is it's so serious, and it's pretty much what Tara was saying. You have to prioritize what's most important to you. You know, regardless to if it was something we could have even agreed that this is what I was going to pursue. But if I see that my significant other is taking issue with it for whatever reason, his issues may not have nothing to do with me. It could be things he's dealing with in his own busy life. You know what I mean? That's causing him stress and anxiety. But it's coming out because him and I should be best friends. I should be the one closest to him. I'm going to see all of his weaknesses. I have to decide, you know, am I going to slow down enough to find out what the core issue is with him while I do what I do? Yes, asking a lot, but it's the position that we asked for. It's a position that we went into willingly. It's a position that we actually not went in with him and him and just him and I. This is something we said before whatever authority we stood before and said, hey, I'm going to enter into this union with this guy. It's just one of those things where you have to really, really ask yourself, what am I prioritizing? This business or this marriage?
I've just been listening because I'm like, especially as being an entrepreneur, I know I've had the situation come up before, you know, like, I'm not gonna lie, like most of my past relationships have kind of ended because it was more so like I was more committed to my business, or that's how they felt. But I oftentimes think too, a big part of that was, you know, finding someone that actually can match my drive and ambition. I think that type of person sees that more clearly, and maybe then that way we can have more effective communication and compromise, like, because we'd be meeting along that same playing field. So when you all said that about, you know, real men or either real women, because one thing I wanted to kind of just say, I love what Ms. Tara said just a minute ago, and I can't even remember exactly what it was, but it was kind of like along that changing of the mindset, because I oftentimes, like, I know initially when we decided to have this conversation, we were more so thinking about women and leaving their male counterparts behind. But I've had several men talk to me about, you know, like, how do I tell her, you know, like, I want more out of life than this, you know, I need her to get up and have more ambition, or, you know what I mean? Like, that's really what they're wanting. And it's like, the woman may not be getting that. So I like the fact that Ms. Tara, when you were saying just kind of like how you change your perspective, because I think that for one, that's kind of giving the men a way to kind of see how to approach the subject, you know, like a more kinder way to say it, but also for those women out there that's listening that have kind of heard something similar before and you didn't really want to take heed. Now you know, like, hey, a mind shift is going to have to take place at some point, or either, again, like, if you're going to prioritize, then obviously your relationship or your marriage isn't, you know, what is most important to you. But I'll say now what I kind of want to know, because I noticed you all talked about, like, with the prioritization, I'm still like trying to learn how to balance, you know, just like I need some tips for that, because I know that priority is a thing, but how do you make all that happen? You know, how do you cook a Monday meal on a Sunday meal on a Monday after, you know, you've been editing and just doing, like, you know what I mean, just doing all those tasks just that we have to do, not only wearing the role of a wife or a girlfriend, or but also as a mother and a business owner. You know, like, what do you do for self-care, or how do you keep yourself motivated, or how do you organize it, basically?
Suzanne, you got it, or you want me to talk?
I'll speak from my perspective and I'll keep it short, and then you jump in there. For me, and I can only speak for me, I let my yeses be yes and my no's be no's. If I really don't want to do it, and whatever that may be, and sometimes I cook begrudgingly, to tell you the truth, I don't want to, but I put it out there. This is a standard that I set, and I'm going to honor that. So sometimes I'm in there mad cooking, but I'm a cook, and I'm a work my way through my own emotions. Am I going to be hollering and kicking and screaming while I'm in the kitchen? I don't feel like cooking. No, because this is a standard that I set. I'm going to honor it. I'm going to throw something together real quick. As tired as I may be, I'm going to get it done. And I'm going to deal with my own sets of emotions. And now I have to realize, you know, this is a boundary that I set that I don't have the capacity for right now. So I'm going to have to reorganize my capacity with him and let him know, hey, look, this isn't something I'm going to be able to do as much as I've always. It's communication. Communication is key. And not being angry when I communicated to him. He might get mad, but I'm gonna be okay with him and his emotions. I'm gonna let him figure that out on his own. But my boundaries are set. They're clear. And it's and how he deals with that is how he deals with that. Yes, I'm going to be mindful of how it's affected him. So if I can jump back in there and do a little something extra again, I might, but then again, I might not, because I have to be sure that he understands that my capacity level has changed.
Yeah.
So it's major to be able to communicate your truth. Your yes and your no have to be really clear and not selfish, you know. And when I say not selfish, I can say no just because I want to. I can say no because I'm mad. I can say no because I know something's changed and I want to do this over here. And I'm not too concerned about that right there. But again, I would just encourage just discovering who we are as people, be it man or a woman.
Yeah.
And let your true yes be the thing that drives you, and your true no be the real reason why you do or not do something. Because we'll find ourselves so extended that we're doing everything for everybody except ourselves. So my self-care starts with my true yes or my true no.
Mm-hmm.
I like
That's
that.
so good. And that's absolutely everything that I was going to say. Because I think, you know, a lot of times we do things for people, not just our husbands, but we do
Mm-hmm.
things for individuals because we like to nurture. We like
Yeah.
to take care of people. And I think we have to, as we grow, we have to say, you know what, I don't want to do that right now. And be okay with how they respond. They have a right to have their emotion and let them deal with their own emotion, not trying to convince them to, you know what I'm saying, be okay that I don't want to cook today. You know what I'm saying? When I used to cook, but be okay that they're not going to be okay, and give them an opportunity to deal with their, you know, own emotions. And then the other thing is the self-care. I think we as women and as wives, I know for me, I had this expectation of my husband taking care of me and making me whole and being this person for me that he could not be. You know what I'm saying? Because God was already in that position, and God is jealous, right? So he's like, you won't have any. I can make you that. I can make you whole. I can make you feel those things. And so when I got married the first time, it was a sense of disappointment because he wasn't, you know what I'm saying, making me happy. He wasn't making me feel, you know, how I feel. And so we do this book club every twice a month, and so we're reading the Surrendered Wife. And one chapter we did, it talked about it is very difficult to tell somebody what you want when you don't know what you want.
Yeah.
And I was like,
That's
wow,
good.
like
You gotta know
yeah,
yourself.
it's very hard to express to a spouse or a mate your desires when you don't even know your own desires. And that's where self-care comes in, where we can get in tune to who we are as women, to know what you want and what you, yeah, I used to like cooking, but I don't like cooking anymore. So I can't do that for you. Let's talk about it, you know, and not come at him like, you know, it's an issue. Like, baby, I want to cook for you. You remember all those years I used to cook? I'm just different. You know what I'm saying? I'm not there anymore.
Yeah.
That's good. I mean, I love that. Let your yeses speak, and you know, communication. That's one thing I always hear about marriages: communication, communication, communication. Now, my thing is when people are quick to say, "You're so busy." Well, you haven't came into my world to see how busy I'll be for you, because I definitely wasn't sitting here twiddling my thumbs, sitting on the couch waiting for you to make it here. I was busy doing things, but I'm open to creating a space for you in my life if I see fit. But the first thing you hear is you're so busy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so how do you work through that, especially being you know, being single?
I don't know. Suzanne is way more spiritual than I am.
You are so dirty, ma'am. That is so not cool, honey.
I done already got on me about this. Sarah, you take
But if you listen, if you so busy, you have not met the one yet. So keep on.
Absolutely.
Keep
that's how
being
I
busy.
feel. I'm able to. Here's the thing. I
Yes.
will make time for you. One of my girlfriends posts one time. She was like, "Sir, stop being upset because when you walked up on me, I was busy.
Right.
This is what I was doing, sitting here waiting for you to get here and deciding that I'm gonna be with you.
You haven't been
That's the thing. I'm like, I would make time, but then I make time and you're not even worth it. You're not even making time for me, and I done made time for you.
Yeah. Keep it. I was very busy when I met my husband.
What you do?
In the club. I was
No, when you was busy, when did you stop being busy?
when I met him, I became unbusy.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So, like Tara said, you'll know. Even if you did, if you're being busy and the little time you set aside for him, it's just that a little time. When you really rearrange your schedule, and then you gonna know, okay, this dude is doing something. This is different. I did the same thing, Tara. I have no interest in nothing or nobody but myself. And the moment I laid eyes on that dude,
Girl.
I was like, yeah, okay. I'm gonna make you mine. That was me. I'm gonna make you mine.
Miss Suzanne sound like me then.
Just like that. I'm gonna make you mine, and we've been together ever since then.
Right. Yeah. In real life, yeah.
Look, both of us in a whole nother relationship. Both of us in a whole nother relationship, but we locked eyes, and it was a wrap after that. So don't worry about them little things. If they come in and come out, and one thing I would say to and I've always said it to Arnya, and I love the way she dates. She literally dates. You know what I mean? People may say whatever, see whatever, believe whatever, but as a single woman, you should have multiple different people that you go to dinner. You should have multiple different people that you go to the movies with.
Earl, Earl in the room. He might
get out. Antonio just came in here, right? I was like, Antonio, we should probably let him come in at the end of this.
Well, we're gonna have another time for them. We're gonna let them come.
Okay, I just put Antonio out.
Okay, we're gonna have, especially Suzanne's husband. I don't know Tara's husband, but Suzanne's husband is
speak on baby. I don't know baby.
Look, Tara is Antonio in their relationship, and I'm her. That's how we balance each other out. And I don't know if she told y'all the testimony in the beginning. And it's just an amazing thing how when God is ready for you to see yourself, he will send you somebody that not only you respect, but somebody that's bold enough to talk to you according to who they are. And they're not trying to tempt who they are. They're not trying to be nice because of who they think you might be. They just cutthroat. You know what I mean? No chaser. And so as she was talking, he began to tell me, hey, she's representing who your husband is to you. You need to listen. But she had a woman's perspective. So I was able to sit and talk with this nut, go home, see the same attributes in my husband, but I understood it better coming from a feminine version of him. So I was able to handle him a little bit different. And then we get to talk, and she looking at me like, you act too much like her. So I'm going to tell you what you need to go in there and do. You need to honor that.
They are both. Y'all know I love y'all so much. Y'all are so funny. But seriously, you know what? And I was watching Becoming on Netflix yesterday, and that's what Michelle Obama said too. You know, marry somebody that you respect
first.
That's important, that you respect, and you respect what they're doing. And, you know, you both agree on the moral things. You may not agree on everything else, but she's never felt disappointed morally, you know, and I love that. So we're right at the end of this segment. We definitely will have to have y'all back on to talk about more. Is there anything in closing you would like to make sure you get over to our audience?
Tara?
Yeah, Suzanne.
If I had to say anything to male or female that was successful in their own individual right, and they may be aligned with somebody who is successful or not yet as successful as them, I would say give your spouse room to move according to how they move. It's always something to learn from them. That's the stage of life that I'm in now, is rediscovering my husband after all of these years. The very things that I kind of took for granted, or I was angry with, or didn't understand because he didn't think like me, is the thing that he's teaching me through now. And it's like, if I would have been listening to this, or if I would have received this piece of you 20 years ago, how far along would I be? And so I would just encourage people to not be so emotional about the thing that moves you in whatever direction. Just take the emotion away from it and look at it with a strategic eye, because 9 times out of 10, the thing that you don't know, or the thing that you don't understand, or the thing that's moving you emotionally is going to teach you something. So it's remain teachable in the process. And I kid you not, if I had 20 years back, I would have paid more attention to the thing that was bothering me, because now I understand that it was bothering me because it was either something I didn't know, something I didn't understand, or something that was going to require greater of me. And I should have paid attention, but I'm paying attention now. Mm-hmm.
That's good. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
I think my thing, I would say, just from a position as a wife, those of you who are considering marriage and, want to do life with someone, I would say it's a beautiful thing, but it's very intentional. It
Yeah.
doesn't happen. Like, it's not, I was thinking about how when some of us become moms, they got this handbook teaching you how to be a mother, teaching you how to be a parent, but nobody teaches us how to be a wife. And that's something that we constantly have to, when you take on this responsibility, because you don't have to do it. You don't have to be a wife. There are people who are good. They don't want anybody in their space. They're good with kids. And I mean, without having kids, without having a husband, it's okay. Like, our church teaches that that's the preferred life, because at that moment you can focus on Jesus without a mate. Like, my husband is in between me and Jesus. Because if I get mad at my husband, now I'm looking at Jesus like, why would you let me marry this man?
Okay.
Relationship. You do, Father. Why would you do this to me? And so I don't, you know what I'm saying? I tell people it's a covenant, it's a commitment when you take on the responsibility of being a wife. And the enemy wants to destroy, he wants to tear down, because two is better than one. Because when you're weak, you have a support, you have somebody that's strong when you're weak. When you're strong, he's weak. And for me, it feels good having somebody to do life with. So my thing is that, any ladies that are thinking about getting married, just make sure that you want the role and the responsibility of wife and not just a daddy.
Yeah.
Well, thank you both for joining us today. On the screen, Fancy had all their information to connect. To connect, Fancy, did you have something?
Well, no, not as far as with them. I just needed to get the last sponsor out, really.
Well, yeah. So thank you, ladies, for joining us.
Good night.
Love y'all. Bye.
All right. One thing I've really, I knew it would kind of be a prolonged discussion, but I kind of want to touch on how people always be talking about, like, don't be acting like a wife to a boyfriend. So, if they want to come back and discuss that with us, in a little while, I'm kind of interested in that subject. So
I'll reach out to them for that. Don't be a wife to a boyfriend. Got it.
Yeah. So our second sponsor for the evening is the credit repair consultant, Miss Sandy Payne Felder. You all can find her Instagram, which is at Sandy SANDEE_P1810. Or we also have her number listed. But right now, Miss Payne is asking, are you looking for another stream of income? She's looking for business partners in all 50 states, whether you want to pursue a part-time or full-time career. She's looking for individuals who are serious, business-minded, self-motivated, and coachable. So keep your income options open and contact Miss Sandy. Her number, since I listed the Instagram, her actual number is 757-337-1263. So you all can hit her up on Instagram or check her out, via phone.
Sounds great. Tonight, you still have on your hook a sister What's up?
Yes, I do. Well, I tried.
Can't
Y'all
see
can
it.
really see my shirt, and I don't like just being all in the camera.
Move it
And
to
I
the
never
left.
get my camera right. But I'm gonna actually share a photo, I guess, like in the comments, so that you all can see the shirt, because I do appreciate Hook a Sister Up for my shirt, and you all can check them out. That's Miss Linda Otterbridge, and Hook a Sister Up is an online community along the lines of empowerment. And oh, did I actually write these out? No, I didn't. I did, but I'm sorry. But I'm gonna come back, and maybe we'll have Miss Linda on, so that way we can, definitely know more about the organization. And I'll also try to include like some links and stuff in the comments as well. And then before you do yours, let me just make certain that I get out the Theories and Thoughts Never Thirsty tumblers. Here's the link if you all would like to purchase one. They are customized, so you can get your name on them, and then it has our logo on the front. So you can get those at the swagger.net site, and the link is there, or you could just go under the shop tab. Okay.
Tonight I am wearing Newfangled earrings by Bree Moore Productions. You can find her on Instagram and Facebook, Bree Moore Productions. And I actually have on my Swag Her shirt, Our Stories, Our Struggles, Our Success. So if you want to buy that also, yeah.
Yeah, you can visit our shop. Actually, you can send us an email, because I don't think I have those up in the shop, but we are working on getting some more shirts. And I realized, Anya, when you asked me, did I have any announcements? I didn't really think about it at the time, but we do have some positions open on our Facebook page, as well as we have positions open on Indeed. And Jermel is also looking for media correspondent. So I know we've got like a lot of responses in, and we've also been sharing some of those submitted videos on our Instagram page, so you all can check that out. Also, if you did get a chance to check out my interview with State Rep of Michigan State Rep Sarah Anthony, you all can view that on our Instagram account at Swagger Magazine. But she and I are kind of discussing the events that took place on the state capitol the other week, when her photo went viral and she was being escorted into the Capitol like by some Black armed citizens. So that was a really interesting discussion, and we're going to try to see about getting it over to the website as well.
All right. Well, you know where you can find me, LadiCEO, LADI.CEO on Instagram. I'm LadiCEO on Twitter, and on Facebook, LadiCEO, Arnya TM Davis. So
I'm sorry. Next time I'm gonna have all of that listed there for you, Arnya. If you just send it over to me, so I can just list it, copy and paste. But yeah, okay.
Anything else?
No, that's it.
All right. Bye, y'all.
Bye.